It is week number 2 of Ohio High School football playoffs, and ICRC has traveled north to Kettering Fairmont High School at Rouse Stadium, where the Division IV quarterfinal action will be the number 5 seed Indian Hill Braves and the number 4 seed Archbishop Alder Knights. Hello, I'm Bill Bretz, and joining me is Brian Shaw. And Brian, you followed this Indian Hill team this year. Last year, 3-7. This year, 9-2. I guess a much more enjoyable year for the Braves.
Bill, great to be with you. Great to be in the Gem City in Alter, the home of the Paxson boys and Coach Petroselli. I have to say it's a tale of two different parts of the season, and it really hinges on number 19, Devlin Daniel. Daniel has come in, averaged more than 10 yards a carry this year, and really changed this team. And his ability offensively has helped them defensively, every part, field position, everything that's happened here. The keys of the game tonight: stop the run. Alter's going to be physical and run the football, and then pass the ball efficiently. We know that Alter's going to be geared up for Daniel. A lot is going to be on the shoulders of the senior quarterback, John Pottigill, and the village of Indian Hill wouldn't have it any other way.
You know, and Pottigill, you were talking about him. We were talking about him earlier. He was hurt after the first game of the season, and then he came back about 3 weeks ago and has come back, and that's been a real boost for the team. Well, you know, Alder comes into the playoffs 8-3. They play a very tough GCL co-ed league. 4 of the 6 teams in the league made the playoffs, and they all 4 won their first round games. The Knights are very familiar with the playoffs. This is their 23rd straight year in the playoffs, and we're going to hold off for a second because we've got a national anthem going on.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
We're sorry our little pregame didn't get all the way through. We'll tell you more about Alder and what their run is. As they said, 23 straight years in the playoff. And their player of the watch tonight, we're going to see him, not first off because they won the toss and deferred, will be number 24, and it'll be Noah Jones. But right now, Tony Arcuri just kicked off. And back to receive is for the Braves. And I believe that might have been Daniel. Good kickoff, but the Braves get good field position. They're starting at the 30-yard line. As we said before, John Pottigill back at quarterback again. He's 5'11", 175-pound senior. As Devian Daniel in the backfield. Devian is only a freshman. Braves starting at the 29-yard line here in Division IV playoffs. Second round. Pottigill and the give is to Daniel. Daniel trying to find a way around the right side, left side. He just didn't get it.
Bill, that's what we've seen from him all year. What he has done for this offense is he's stretched the field sideline to sideline. Keeping Daniel from getting to the boundary is big for the Knights tonight, but what it does, it's opened up the middle of the field. You saw that lead option. John Pottigill, a track guy, an all-state 100-yard dash guy with the middle of the field wide open.
2nd and 10 now for the Braves. Potterjoe back to pass. He's got a man open and it is intercepted. Picked off by number 29, Connor Watkins, and Watkins gets all the way down to the 7-yard line. First pass for Potterjoe is an interception.
Bill, one of the things we've seen this year, both sides coming into this game, Potterjoe with just 1 interception, less than 2% of his passes this year. First one tonight. Gavin Conway on the other side with Alter also. Just a little over 1% of his passes intercepted. Both these teams have been clean thus far. Playoff football, cold weather, different night.
Watkins' first interception in a year. It now sets up for the Knights now at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. And the give is to Jones, I believe it was, number 24, number 26. Number 26 is, we show him as Ron Owens.
Bill, we're less than a minute in. The Braves, I think they just got off the bus and already down by a touchdown. Not the start the Braves were looking for. This Alter team you talked about, very experienced in the postseason, won a lot of postseason games.
Our carry is trying to put on point number 7. Splits the uprights. It is 7-0 with 11:02 to go in this quarter. And here we see the touchdown was by number 26. Now 26 we have as, I hope they didn't change numbers on us, but we have as Rod Owens, and he gets the touchdown. And
Rocket Rod Owens, nice cut back there, and the sea parted, and into the end zone he goes.
We do not show Owens as a touchdown this year, so that's his first one, 10 yards. So once again, deja vu from about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Our carry now kicking off.
Bill, I think Owens on the year, 54 carries, 313 yards, almost 6 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns.
That was 5 touchdowns. I saw him now.
Yep.
He appeared on my list there. Thank you
Didn't want
very
that young man to get shortchanged.
No, well, he's got 6 touchdowns now. So, and this time, Curry kicks it into the end zone.
Nice
so touchback.
That's a big kid, that kicker, 95. You got to like that when they wear the number 95. And Bill, as you know, the last coach before John Rodenberg came to Indian Hill was Tony Arcuri.
Right.
Saw that name out there on the roster. I said, wait a minute, he's out of eligibility.
So Indian Hill will get started now at the 20-yard line.
Of course, Tony Arcuri's son, Ethan Arcuri, a member of the Fenwick Falcons for 4 years.
Potterjoe give it to Daniel, and he pushes that line forward, and that's a hard fought 5 yards.
Bill talked about the fact that he has been really tough on teams getting to the outside with the speed, and he has plenty of it. The other thing that he's done, not a big kid, but boy is he physical, able to finish runs, and you saw a little bit of it there. But for much of the year in that CHL, you know, where the competition wasn't quite what you mentioned with this GCL co-ed, getting into that secondary, and boy, those defensive backs, those safeties really paid the price, bringing Mr. Daniel to the ground.
1,422 yards rushing this season for the freshman. Potterjoe gives to Daniel, trying to find room around the left side, and Alder is stretching him out. So far, he's tried that twice, and Alder's got him both times.
Bill Alter doing a great job. You look at the stats this year, how many guys in on tackles. They get to the ball, multiple gold helmets getting to the ball. Kind of reminds me of the game against Wyoming. We'll get into that as the night goes on. A few weeks ago, Indian Hill able to beat Wyoming for the first time since 2015.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that today.
Wyoming with a solid run defense really put the pressure on John Potterjoe to throw the football, and he did it really well, 10 of 12 against Wyoming.
Potterjoe man in motion now. He's back to pass. He's got a man, that's Grace. Alex Grace over the 40 out to the 50-yard line. A little slam pattern there. Grace all alone.
Alex Grace, a big target, 6'4". He's also a terrific punter and a terrific kicker. I always laugh. If football was nothing but the punt, pass, and kick, I think Indian Hill might be state champion. A 54-yard field goal on the year, over 40 yards net on the punts, and he had, I think, 15 of them that were inside the 20 for touchbacks, or for inside the 20 where he got the coffin corner. So this is a guy that can really put some air in the ball. And by the way, the nephew of the great Eric Caddis from Coleraine High School and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Remember Eric, yes.
Not sure where he went to college. I don't think we're going to talk about that.
Daniel with the give into ninth territory down to about the, well, actually not quite yet. He's up to the 49-yard line.
But Bill, Braves doing a nice job on this drive of moving the sticks and getting positive yards. You know, this is a team that cannot afford to have negative plays. All of a sudden out to midfield.
You know, talking to Coach Rodenberg yesterday, they're a very young roster on it. They have 30 guys, freshman or sophomore, but he says, really, we are dependent on the seniors. And one of those is John Pottigill. Pottigill, option, and does not get anywhere.
Alter Knights all year have been facing good running teams, so this is not anything new or unusual to them. You think back to some of these guys that have come out of the GCL co-ed and some of the players they've gone up against. Devlin Daniel having a great year, but Braves are going to need to do something special tonight to run the football.
We saw Chaminade Julian last week, and they had great running, and they made the best of that as they upset Mount Healthy last week, Division III. And Pottigill, hard count there, and he looked like he made one of the older players jump, and I think he did.
Yeah, it looks like Simon Deddens, the junior, 6'2", 189 pounds on that line, number 9.
Well, that makes this third down effort a little bit easier right now. The Braves are very good at third down. They have over 40% this year from 44% third down accuracy. Got a third and short. And there is Daniel. He breaks through. They needed 1. He got about 5. They're down to the 40-yard line. Move the sticks again.
Bill, one of the things about this Indian Hill team I think is unique. Mentioned Alex Grace, his ability to kick the football. He's good from 54 this year. He's had a 54 and a 50-yard field goal. So they're getting close. Once you get down to about that 30-yard line, changes your feelings on play call and what you do and don't have to do to get points on a drive.
Absolutely. I know, talking to the coach last night, he says he does not hesitate to use him. They need the points. Pottigill back to pass, and the pass is dropped.
Jackson Fry out there in the flat, opportunity there with some yardage in front of him. Just a little bit anxious to get going. Understand that. That's a tough play. You want to get the ball, you want to get yardage, but first things first, Bill.
Sets up a 2nd and 10 now from the 40-yard line. As you said, right now, they're about 10 yards away from Grace having a legitimate shot at a field goal. Braves would like to come out with some points on this drive. And the give is to number 7. That's Cole, I believe.
Another freshman, Bill, and that's a physical player. Ethan Cole did a tremendous job. As much as we talk about Devlin Daniel changing this season and the trajectory for this Indian Hill Brave team, at the same time, John Pottigill, for the 2nd consecutive year, going down with a broken clavicle in week 1. Ethan Cole able to come in and play solid quarterback, actually had a rating of 202. They have 68% completion, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The job was Pottigill's when he came back, but Ethan Cole did nothing but give this team a chance to change their season.
And he kept his Braves winning throughout that time, too. There's Pottigill. Oh, we have a player from Alder just broke through. That's number 28 for Alder, and that's Nolan Ogberg. He's a defensive end, and Ogberg, tackle for loss. They've had a lot of them this year. And that one was a costly one, about 7 yards back. Now it's 4th down. It is 4-down territory for the Braves. He's got trips out to the right here. Single receiver to the left. 4th and 10. Pottergill back. Got a man open. That's Daniel. Daniel fighting to get to the sticks. The question is, I think he's going to be short by about a yard or so.
I'll tell you what, took a big hit, gave it up for his team. Devlin Daniel, a tough football player. And the Alter Knights get off the field. Nice job by Alter.
He was 2 yards short down at the 32-yard line. He needed to get to the 30, so Alter takes over.
And Bill, you look at the end of that run, one thing on his mind, getting that ball, getting his team the first down, really kind of gave up his body, took a big shot there. Popped up, looks like he's just fine.
Well, Alders have one play and a score.
Well, it can only go downhill from here, Bill.
I know. Gavin Connor, the junior quarterback. He's got Noah Jones in the backfield. He's got a man in motion. And the give is to Jones, but no, he is stopped after about a 2 or 3 yard run. It looks like number 40 has Trey Carter was in on the tackle.
Trey Carter, good football player. Eli Riggs, Trey Carter, Jackson Fry, some guys have done great stuff. But that front four and in that play, the penetration from Drew Rader, the sophomore, number 54, has had a tremendous year and given these linebackers a chance to make a lot of plays.
Coach Ed Domsite likes to substitute. He put 4 new players in on this play. And the give is to that number 26. He's the guy that scored our touchdown. That's Rod Owens, I'm sorry. Owens gets a first down.
Yeah, one thing for this Indian Hill team and Coach Rodenberg, by the way, we've got 2 legendary coaches here tonight with Domsite and with Rodenberg. Rodenberg with 4 state championships at 3 different schools in 3 different states. Really amazing. One thing for this Indian Hill Braves, as much as Coach Rodenberg would like to get guys in and out, he's only got so many guys. You see the helmets on that far sideline. Got to get off the field. If they tire, they're in trouble.
And the give is to the second back through. That's number 38. It's Vinny Purcell.
Yeah, these Braves, you can see the difference in the numbers as far as players. Alter comes into the game with 70 helmets, Indian Hill with 48. And of those 48, a lot of guys playing a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball.
And a lot of them young, as we mentioned before.
Yeah. Yeah, 19 upperclassmen for Indian Hill and 33 of them for Alter.
The pitch is to Jones, and Jones is upended about the 49-yard line. About 3 yards short.
Bill, a couple guys that have been really disruptive for Indian Hill defensively this year. At the top of the list, Eli Riggs, I think the best defensive player.
Yes.
With all due respect to Quade Hewer at Wyoming, who's had a tremendous career. As far as this year, as far as team winning and a guy that's made plays, Eli Riggs, hard to beat. Trey Carter, the other one, you mentioned him earlier, in that backfield a lot. And then the third, Jackson Fry. And then some solid play from other guys like Penn Picton.
3rd and short now for the Alder Knights. Connor rolling out. Now he's coming back the other direction. Throws over the middle, got a man open. That's number 4, that's John Tiemann. And Tiemann, how about the quarterback, Connor?
Bill, I was just laughing. I'm looking over here. We're next to the Alter coaches, and Gavin Connor rolling to his left with a right-handed throwing quarterback. Hard to make that play. Said, you know what, I'll just reverse course. I'll roll to my right with my right hand.
There you go.
Much easier throw, and not only that, going against the grain with this Braves defense, able to find a guy wide open.
Here you can see Tiemann was wide open, so puts up now a 1st and 10.
These young guys will
23.
do what they want ultimately, Bill, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. And the give is to, I believe that was Vinny Purcell again. Purcell comes in. He had 22 carries coming into the game for 121 yards and a touchdown. He will run a lot of running backs in and out of there. I mean, Noah Jones is is the top guy with 921 yards, but he has at least 3 other rushers over 240 yards.
And Bill, as this game wears on, fresh legs and guys that know they have to produce when they're in there.
And this time it's Purcell again. And he is down inside the 15. He's going to move the sticks.
Bill, just to give you some perspective, the difference in these teams and how physical Alter would like this football game to be. They last met in 2016 right here in the first round of the playoffs, a year that Alter went to the semifinals in the state. And they ran 59 plays, 55 of them were running plays. It basically said to Indian Hill, you're going to have to make me throw the football, and Indian Hill did not.
Wishbone offense right now. Under center is Connor, and again, knocked down right at the line of scrimmage.
Penn Picton on that hit. And once again, this the defensive line, the front four for Indian Hill, doing a nice job just staying in gaps, makes it easier for those linebackers to come downhill and put a hit on somebody, and you'll see Penn Picton doing just that.
He's a 6 foot, 190-pound junior.
Another one of these Braves that has overcome injury. Quite a few guys on this team have had knee injuries. Dan O'Brien, Penn Picton.
This will probably be the last play of the first quarter. Connor back to pass. He's got a man in the end zone. Did he catch it? Nope. The intended receiver was Michael Russ. Looked like he might have had it for a second there.
Yeah, I mean, how about the, boy, he looks like a throwing quarterback. Doesn't look like a guy that only throws the ball 10 times a game. No. Off the back foot, putting it up there. Nice play by Charlie Rogers. Charlie Rogers, not a big guy, but pound for pound, one of the toughest football players, and he absolutely loves playing the game. Charlie Rogers with a great play.
3rd and 10 now. Ball at the 13-yard line. Connor coming to this direction. He's looking. And he had a man coming over the middle there, but threw it low. And they are going to, looks like, going to be trying for a field goal here. They do. Akari is on the field, and he is 3 of 5. His longest is 33.
Bill, how about Gavin Connor in that last play? Looked like a shortstop coming across the second base bag, throwing to first for the double play. The throws that these guys make now from different arm angles, amazing.
29 yards. That snap was not good and off the I tell you what, it all started with the snap. The snap was not very good at all. And he kicked it off the goalpost.
Yeah, great job by Carter Sheets to get that ball, which was behind him, get it down, but it affects the timing. And for a kicker that starts on the snap, tough to drag that foot, and when you do, that's what happens.
So the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line. There's 0.8 seconds to go here in the first quarter, so this will be the last play of the quarter, but good job by the Indian Hill defense there.
Yeah, Indian Hill catching a break on that drive. A couple of the pass plays, not probably what Coach Domsite would like, and then, of course, a missed field goal. Braves fortunate to be only 7 down here.
And there's Daniel. He is being bottled up at the line of scrimmage, and that will bring us up to the end of the first quarter. Well, the scoring got quickly going here in the first minute of the game as Alder intercepted Potagill. They had the ball at the 10-yard line, 1 play in, 7-0, and that is our score. We'll be back here for second quarter. Don't go away.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
And we're back here at Rouse Stadium here and the campus of Fairmont High School. And Alder does not have a home field, but they do play a lot of their games here at this stadium. I believe the coaches told me before the game tonight it's about the 4th or 5th time they've played here this year. Yeah. So this is their home. So
well,
Bill Bretz, Brian Shaw, glad you have joined us here on this almost perfect night for football. It's around 58 degrees or so.
Bill, you mentioned not having a home field. Doesn't seem to bother him any. Moeller down in Cincinnati doesn't bother them either.
No, they've never had a home field. There's the give is to Daniel, I believe, out to about the 25-yard line.
Bill, we mentioned these coaches. Ed Domsite, 48 years he's been doing it. He went into the Ohio High School Hall of Fame in 2018. 31 of those 48 years have been at Alter. He was actually here from 81, I think, to 93 or something like that, and then has recently come back. Spent some time at Trotwood, spent some time at Northmont, but terrific coach. He's seen it all.
Potter Joe back to pass. He's got Grace open at about the 42-yard line. Is going to move the sticks, and Alex Grace his second catch.
Yeah, Bill, that's actually Dan O'Brien, very similar.
Oh, I'm
looking.
sorry.
Yeah, another big receiver. Grace over here, 25, 6'4". Dan O'Brien, 6'2". The great thing about these Indian Hill receivers, easy to see when they're moving around out there. And John Potagill throwing a strike.
I missed the 2 on that one. We have 5 and a 2, and they're both lined up on this side right now.
I tell you what, though, Bill, you're lucky that this year these jerseys have been easier to see than ever.
I know there's been times that they've been very difficult in games. There is Daniel. Daniel moving this ahead about 4 yards.
And if you're Alter, you'll take that every day. You just don't want the big play. Make them line up and do it again. And they keep taking away that outside, Bill, and every time he cuts up, it just allows guys from the inside to pursue and make plays.
You know, the freshman came in, one of the most impressive stats right here is his 10.9 per carry. I mean, that's better than a first down.
Shades of the great Carlos Snow at Cape High School back in the days.
Oh, my gosh, I remember Carlos.
Yeah, he ran for about 12 every time he touched it on average. But, yeah, it really has changed things for this team.
Back to pass, and that is catch is good. As good was he inbounds, though. It was to O'Brien, it looks like.
Terrific play by Dan O'Brien.
It was right at the sticks. Let's see what they say it is.
Well, not sure if they gave that to him.
I think he was probably out of bounds because, you know, it's back to the 35-yard line. Our officials tonight, we'll get them here for you. We'll get them the next play. Big third down situation now for the Braves. Potagill back. Now he's scrambling. And he's got a man open. That is number 8. John Coffer, 6 foot, 175-pound senior.
Boy, you see John Potagill, another case of a right-handed quarterback being flushed out, having to go to his left. Doing a great job, just putting some air under that ball. Had plenty of space out there in front of Copfer. Didn't try to do too much, gave him an easy thing to catch and run.
Well, I tell you what, that clavicle looks like it's pretty good shape.
Well, you know, the difference between this year and last year he broke that thing and just let it heal. This year he had surgery shortly thereafter, able to come back against Finneytown, I think in week 8, something like that. And really a steadying influence. He's always been the brain of that senior class.
Potagill keeps it himself this time. Rushes forward about 3 yards inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. Isn't it amazing anymore with these surgeries? Here, I mean, you know, 15, 20 years ago, you break clavicle, you're gone. You're done for the season. And he's back like 5 weeks later.
And Bill, you know, you think about it, whether it's clavicle or maybe a rotator cuff. I mean, I had that situation. You know, hey, are you a professional player? You're not? Well, then you know what? Just let that thing go. We'll see you later. Yeah. So it's a whole different world today. And you think about, you know, one of the guys at the forefront of that, Indian Hill alum, Tim Kremchak, who with Beacon Orthopedic has really gotten a lot of people back in the game.
And there is a great catch made, and that was Alex Grace. He went sky high over 2 or 3 defenders and got that.
Yeah, Alex
that
Grace,
catch. And
speaking of shoulders, Alex Grace going to have work done on both shoulders. So tough kid, giving his team everything he has. Usually plays basketball, not going to play this year, having surgery at the end of the season. But you just tell how tough he is. The fact that here's a guy waiting for surgery and he's out there giving him everything.
He's going to get some looks here, I think, for college for kicking. Gives him a first down now. Potajo, I think that was a broken play. Potajo went down. He looked to the left, and there wasn't anybody there.
Yeah, that's one where you just say, okay. And he did a good job not to freak out.
Right.
But once again, behind the sticks, tough situation for Indian Hill. Alter not going to give up that big play. 2nd and 13. Braves just got to chip away.
Have to get it maybe about another, I would say 5-6 yards to have Grace with a legitimate shot for a field goal.
Yep.
2nd and 13. Pottergill back to pass. He's got a rush on, and he throws it, and they were coming at him this time.
Yeah, nice job to get rid of the football, not compound the situation yardage-wise. Throwing it up there, he's got Dan O'Brien over there with a couple inches and just, didn't get it in a location where they could make a connection, but good thought. But by the way, I got to make a clarification here or a declaration. My wife's civics teacher in high school at Kettering Alter, none other than Coach Domsite.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So in full disclosure, the Leneve family, Barbara Leneve, student of Coach Domsite.
Potajo, he's getting rushed now. That quickness, though, a long pass, and he overthrows his center. I tell you what, though, his speed saves him a lot of times in getting tackled.
Yeah, all the way down to the number 10. Looked like Fran Tarkenton back there running around for his life. But, yeah, he has had opportunities this year, and he's taken advantage of them with Daniel taking the ball and stretching the field to go up the middle, and he's taking the ball. He can run it 50, 60 yards and outrun everybody. But this a pressure situation, different deal. And the Braves really grasping at straws on that one. But here we go, Mr. Grace, 50-yard opportunity.
50-yard. He is 2 for 4 beyond the 50. The hold is up. The kick is up, and it's going to be short. Be short. I think he got that off a bit too quickly this time because it was line drive.
As good as he is, I mean, sometimes at 50 you feel like you got to do more. It's kind of like your golf game. You think you got to do more, let the club do the work, and you feel like you got to swing a little harder than you do, and maybe that had something to do with it. One of the things you saw this year, 51 extra point attempts, 49 makes, and that not only tells you about something about Mr. Grace, but also the snap and the hold. I mean, we've had really good fortune at Indian Hill. A lot of attention paid by Coach Rodenberg and his staff. And should mention a couple of guys on that staff. Coach Rodenberg obviously taking on the defense, but Cody Reardon, the offensive coordinator.
Know Cody well. And the give is to Owens. Cody was over at Reading for a few years. And matter of fact, the year before he came over here, he was Coach of the Year in the CHL.
Yes, he was.
And then he came over to Indian Hill at the same time that John came over, and Cody became his offensive coordinator.
And if John had not come into the process and become head coach, it's very likely that Cody Reardon would have had an opportunity there. I know the committee liked him very much. And then the other one is John Masali, the offensive line coach. He's been around a lot. Was at Indian Hill a few years ago, went to Princeton for a while, came back. They actually base what they do offensively on what the line can do.
Oh, almost a strip sack right there. And that pass is good and knocked out of bounds. I don't know, I'm waiting down there. I was holding my breath there about a late hit there. But
Bill, how
the pass was good to Michael Russ.
How about the athleticism of these quarterbacks, able to scramble, make plays, and throw the ball from, like we were talking about earlier, different arm angles. Really remarkable. Throwing the football around like it's a baseball.
Connor was 88 of 159, 55% coming into the game tonight. 1,163 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. And this time the give is to Jones. And I tell you what, that Indian Hill defensive line's doing a fairly decent job.
Yep, linebackers coming up and making sure tackles too. But, you know, love the play calling here from Alter, mixing it up a little bit. They are on schedule. It seems like every series they're on schedule. Here we got a 2nd and 6, and that's basically all you can ask for. Opens up the playbook and gives your team an opportunity to do a lot of different things.
And like you said, they keep running those players in and out of the game. They keep having fresh legs in there numerous times during each series. This time the keeper is by Connor. Connor is not going to make it to the first down marker. He's going to be about 2 yards short.
Yep. Very manageable 3rd down and short. I was just looking at the schedule, Bill. This year, and you think about preparation for games like this, Alter, of their 11 games, 8 of them were against teams that are in divisions that are higher than they are. Division 4 Alter playing Division 3 teams, playing a Division 1 team in Fairmont. And the games that they lost 3 games, but they only lost them by an average of 5 points. Indian Hill, on the other hand, played 2 games out of their 11 against teams that were in larger divisions, and their losses there too were by an average of over 15 points.
That's Owens with the ball, and he gets a first down now down to about the 45-yard line. These two teams have one common opponent, and that was Roger Bacon. And Indian Hill lost to Roger Bacon the first game of the season, 33-20. Interesting enough, Alder beat Roger Bacon last week to get to this game, 42-0.
Yeah, interesting start there. John Pottigill going out. Braves actually with a 14-0 early lead in that one. Bacon able to turn it on. Actually did not bring in Ethan Cole. Ben Sitchell came in to play quarterback. Penn Picton playing running back. Different Indian Hill team that night.
Connor. The give is to Owens again. Owens finds room over the left side. Rushes out for about 13, 14 yards. Another Alder first down.
And Bill, what you're starting to see is, you know, all these little 4- and 5-yard gains where you're having to bring guys down and they're really running downhill on you. At some point, it starts to open things up. Braves need to get off the field or they are going to be a tired bunch. You don't want to do that against this offense.
The score is 7-0, and if you have missed the start of this game, you missed the touchdown. It came in the first minute of the game. Since that time, though, both teams been scoreless. But Alder is driving now. Connor back to pass. He's got a man open. Number 19, that is Wyatt Reifshiner. He is basically plays defense.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's his brother.
Yeah,
he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
He is a tight end.
Watch at the end of this play, interesting way to initiate contact. Usually it's outside foot, inside shoulder. He puts the head right in on, I think that was Eli Riggs. Interesting approach.
Alder in the red zone. The give is to Jones. Jones, a little spin move. Still on his feet, but now he's taken down.
Yeah, good job by the Braves to get to the football.
Maybe gained about a yard on that.
And by no means, Bill, do I mean to say that everybody for Indian Hill that has come in this year has given them everything. A lot of guys, though, in week 1 against Bacon when John goes down, not expecting to be put in that position. A very difficult situation to put guys in when they're not prepared or looking as if they're going to be in the game in that type situation.
Yeah, especially early on in the season when you're not really familiar, especially with freshman and sophomore, you're not really familiar with your players.
Yeah.
2nd and 8 now. Ball at 16-yard line. Connor back to pass. He's got a man open. Carter Sheets
Bill, did you see how Connor allowed some of that traffic to clear and then didn't even really necessarily step in, just threw that ball again like it's a baseball. We're going to watch it here. Watches the defender clear and then just loads and able to zip that ball in a line. Can't tell you how impressive that is. You know, you think back to 20, 30 years ago and guys all over the top, guys all stepping in, everything had to be perfect, throwing lane, this, that, and the other. These guys now, everybody looks like Patrick Mahomes.
14 yards, first and goal at the 2-yard line. The give is to, we don't see who the bottom guy is in that pile.
Looks like they marked him short.
Might have been Jones in there, but whatever it is, we have an Indian Hill player down right at the goal line. The ball is going to be spotted about half-yard short.
Yeah, looks like that might be Gabe Oakes for Indian Hill.
All right, we're going to step out for just a moment. We will be back.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
And we're back and we see Gabe Oakes fortunately walking off the field there.
And we see the great Terry Conti, one of Tim Kremchick's colleagues at Beacon.
Susan Blackston out there too.
Absolutely.
When I was coaching at Reading, Susan was her thing, and that time that is a touchdown. I think that was number 12, Mikey Rose. Mikey Rose, that'll be his 7th touchdown of the year. We'll give him 1 yard on it.
That might be generous.
Yeah.
That ball was close.
Carey's kick is up and good. And talk about somebody that's pretty efficient. He came in 40 of 41, now 42 of 43.
Isn't it amazing, Bill? Because you even think about just executing that in practice. Just to be able to get the good snap, the good hold, the good kick. I mean, even on air, that's impressive. Matter of fact, I mean, you think about what's required there, those 3 elements, and then you think about free throws and basketball. To have such a disparity, you know, the average kid probably shoots 65% from the line, maybe a little more than that. But, boy, here in football, it seems like these kickers have been working quite a bit to be damn near perfect.
Well, you know, a lot of them are soccer players too, especially a lot of smaller schools. A lot of CHL schools have soccer players for their kickers. And Alex Grasso is legit since he's a receiver. So
yeah, that's right.
He's a real football player.
Alex went to St. James over on the west side. There wasn't going to be any soccer.
Kari's kickoff is going to be a little bit short. Going to be taken at about the 15-yard line and just smacked down quickly. George Vollmer was carry. He made maybe about 10 yards on that one. So
George Vollmer's cousin, Daniel Vollmer, with the St. Xavier Bombers tonight. They're going to be playing Moeller. Another Indian Hill kid, 5 starters for St. X that are Indian Hill kids that just happened to go over to St. X. That's a big one tonight. Of course, the one that they're all talking about in the city of Cincinnati tonight, Withrow versus Winton Woods.
Yeah.
Been a long time since you had 2 teams in the city of Cincinnati, public school league teams, and a game that big. Could be the Division II state champ coming out of that.
Give is to Daniel. Daniel, a little spin move. Picks up about 4 yards on that play.
Of course, here in Division 4, the other games tonight.
And again, yeah, Wyoming, of course, is in action tonight. The Cowboys are playing Washington Courthouse. You know, well, let's go back to the play here. We'll talk about Wyoming here in a second.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Almost a terrific catch by Alex, getting twisted around and just couldn't pick it up in time.
Yeah, he didn't look in time. I think if he looked about a second quicker, he would have got that pass. But Wyoming's been Indian Hill's nemesis in the second round. There for about 3 or 4 straight years, they were meeting Wyoming. Wyoming was beating them. Of course, Wyoming went on to win a state championship, state runner-up a couple of times. But
yeah,
Indian Hill's had a struggle getting out of this second round.
Yeah, Indian Hill never getting out of the second round.
They got the one time they did get to the regional finals, I think. Let me look at it, 2007.
Yeah, Kevin
But that's about it.
Kevin Seipel with quarterback Mike Scherpenberg on that squad. The great Kevin Seipel, the Highland Bluebird. Great guy too. Yeah, you know, this Indian Hill Wyoming rivalry. I mean, you've got the 2 biggest schools in the CHL by quite a bit. Taylor you could throw in there, but then you get that mid-tier of Marymount, Madeira, Reading, and you get the smaller teams, Finneytown and Deer Park. But those 2 seem to lock horns every year for the title.
Grace, fake punt.
Oh,
now he pooch kicks it.
Oh boy.
And it's going to be a little short, but it gets an Indian Hill roll.
Yeah.
It looked like, I don't know if he was going to try to run it.
I think he was, and then I think he just saw what was in front of him. And Bill, the reason for my reaction to that, just Alex in a vulnerable situation, kicking the football with defenders collapsing down on him. And of course, no penalty on that because he's a runner. And the officials rightly calling him a runner that just decided to kick it. Unfair to the defense to penalize anybody for running into him at that point. But boy, he was in a vulnerable spot, Bill. I'm glad to see him walk off.
That's a risky move, though, back there because could have gone down. They could have had almost 1st and goal. They do give good field position, though, the Knights. Connor, plenty of protection. Throws it over the middle. He's got his receiver down there, and that's Carter Sheets.
Boy, he really throws a pretty ball and able to get great protection. This offensive line for Alter, giving him all the time in the world back there. Eventually, somebody's going to open up.
And they're doing a no huddle here. And the pass is good to Sheets again, although the officials are going to call a timeout.
And Bill, how about the pickup by Noah Jones of the blitzing Penn Picton on that one to give his quarterback time? Actually threw that ball before he needed to, but a great pickup by Noah Jones. And really, that's, boy, I tell you what, Bengals ought to get him in there for Joe Mixon on 3rd downs to protect Joe Burrow.
Timeout called by Alter. Right now, we said earlier we were going to go over our officials here. I guess we will talk on them right now. The referee tonight is Chris Beckstead. Umpire is David Tobias. Harold Hitchcock is your linesman. Mike Hassefeld is the line judge, and the back judge is Nate Stanton.
I'm so impressed with Noah Jones. I think I'm going to take him to Mama DeSalvo's after the game and get he and his family all the olives and cheese they can eat.
Nice of you to do that.
That was fantastic. Might take his dad over to Arrow Wine and see what he wants.
You're working for the Chamber of Commerce up here in Kettering.
I tell you what, I love it. The Leneve family, I just loved it. St. Charles Mass at 5 o'clock on Saturday, nothing better.
That's Connor, the quarterback keeper, down to about the 22-yard line. And he picks up about 20 yards on that one.
And one of the things you do, obviously, you run those receivers out, you run those DBs down the field, and really nothing on the second level. You're going to have an opportunity as a quarterback. Great job by Connor to recognize it, and we're going to see it here. Sees where everybody is on the field. If he can just get past that first line there, the Braves defenders, he's going to be in that secondary and getting positive yardage.
He's the second leading rusher on the team and had almost 400 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns.
Bill, you think about some of the greats to play, for the Altar Knights. I mean, Chris Borland and Jeff Graham, and of course C.J. Hicks recently, but Nick Mangold, Jerry Rudzinski. I mean, they've just had one after the other. Used to be a basketball school.
Oh, yeah.
You think about Coach Joe Petroselli in 50 years. I don't know what it is about these guys. They don't age. They come here to Altar. Joe Petroselli able to do it forever. And then, of course, Coach Dom Sight closing in on 50 years himself.
Well, their girls basketball program has been outstanding here. And the girls basketball coach is the athletic director here. Christina Hart is the AD here. And she's been the basketball coach there, has had 5 state championships herself.
Well, that doesn't help. That doesn't hurt having the AD. I mean, you get the shooting gun, you get the new uniforms. That's good stuff.
Right now in that play, the Braves were blitzing. They brought in a blitzer from the right side there.
And Bill, we're
Picton.
a big part of this game. Not that 14 points is a small matter, but you got an opportunity to add to it here with just under 12 seconds left in the half. And Altar, all of a sudden, this gets pretty serious. The long on the field goals, I think this year for Altar, 33 yards.
33 yards now.
So not in that place now. Going to have to make a couple of plays, but that brings up clock management.
11.9 seconds to go here in the first half. If they get maybe about another 10 yards, they called a timeout now. They'll have 1 timeout left.
Bill, we're looking at the Oaks family, by the way, on the monitor. We mentioned Gabe Oaks going out. Mick Oaks sitting with his wife in the front of the Oaks clan. Played at the University of Cincinnati, as did his dad, Pat Oaks, who's behind him. And then, of course, Joe Oaks in that group also. Played at Ohio University. The Oaks family. Pat originally from Wyoming. His kids all played for Indian Hill. You can imagine what that house was like.
Blitz coming in now, and they got a man open down to about the 5-yard line.
Bill, they're going to have to get up and spike it in order to have time.
And he does. Russ was the receiver. It's going to be now 2nd and goal.
And, Bill, that's about as well as you can do it at the high school level. To be able to get a pass play, get everybody up on the line. We're going to watch it here. It's the pass play, hey, that's probably the easy part, as good as that was. But to get everybody up on the line, get the ball put down, snap it and spike it, and still have 4.5 seconds.
22-yard attempt for our Curry. Kick is up, and he splits the uprights. That could have gone from about 30 or 40 yards there.
Bill, I just can't say enough about the execution there. The coaching staff to our right here, and I think everybody, their faces don't necessarily show how happy they are, but I think they're very happy. That is really impressive execution by the Altar Knights to close out this half. And 17 points, Bill, probably feels about right given what we saw at the line of scrimmage and the plays that were made, the yardage that was accumulated over the first half. Indian Hill staying in that football game for a long time at 7-0, even though, some things could have gone against them there, hanging in that ball game. Going to have to come out and make hay in the second half to get back in this one.
Actually, the Altar will get the ball to start the second half since they did defer. Their defense has pitched 6 quarters of shutout ball here in the playoffs.
Would like to also congratulate Coach Dom Sight this year. Got his 300th win at Altar. He's got 376 of them overall, but 300 wins at one school. Think about that. That's 30 years of getting 10 wins a season.
I know. That's amazing. I thought he was going to do a squib kick, but he kicks it up.
Oh.
And it was received by Devin Daniel.
Bill, that's why you were thinking about that squib kick. He was one broken tackle away from changing this.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of a dangerous move on their part, but we finished the first half here at Fairmont Russ Stadium tonight. The Altar Knights hold a 17-0 lead. Brian and I will be back for second half action. Don't go away.
us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to icrctv.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bill, Bretz, Brian Shaw back here at Fairmont High School, where we're seeing the highlights of the first half. And that first highlight happened in the first minute. Is Owens' touchdown after an interception right there, and then once again they came back and scored again. I believe we gave that one to Owens too, and then the field goal right there, and that's your score right there, 17-0 as favor of the Alter Knights over the Indian Hill Braves here in Division IV playoffs. Of course, this is the time of year the winner goes on, the loser goes home, and the winner of this game will be playing Clint Massey and McNicholas. Clint Massey, #1 seed, and always a tough. This region usually goes through Clint Massey. So,
yeah, no doubt.
But anyway, some comments here, Brian, first half.
Well, I thought Alter did what they wanted to do. They were the physical team. They moved the football. Really, when you look at yardage, this could be a bigger game than 17-0. And just can't say enough about the play calling, the way they mixed it up, kept Indian Hill off balance. Indian Hill didn't do a bad job, gave plenty of resistance, but Alter able to get down the field. And as you said earlier, Indian Hill getting off the field here on this first possession is going to be big for the Braves.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very big. And we were talking about Alder. I didn't get through on the pregame here today, but this is their 23rd year in a row to be in a postseason, 29 total. And during that run, they have been to the state Final Four 12 times. They were runner-up in 2006, 14, and 18, and state champs in 2008, 2009. Their playoff record is 52-26. They're one of only 23 schools in Ohio with 50-plus wins. And I'm going to put this out right now. I know I already told you this earlier, but I'll have the people think about this. What school has the most wins in the state of Ohio in the playoffs? And they're playing tonight. So we'll let you think about that.
Hell, Bill, everybody's playing tonight.
Oh, that's true.
Well, that was last week.
Yeah, that's right. So half of them are playing tonight. So that's your #1 there, Carter Sheets. He was kind of the up man on that one. Got the short kickoff.
Nice job, Grace. Nice job by Sheets. Grace, if they looked at film, Grace puts it in the end zone more often than not. Way to be alert and make a play. Nice return.
All right. Alder will go to work here.
Bill, you got an answer for that one? I'm sure everybody is just hanging out there.
People out there are Googling it right now, so I'm just going to let them just Google it, and we'll tell you the answer here.
Hey, I got a guess. I got a guess.
All right.
Tell me when you want it.
All right. We'll get this. Let's see what happens here. Alder with the ball at the 32-yard line. There's Noah Jones, and he is brought down in the backfield. Trey Carter, big tackle in the backfield. So,
Bill, we mentioned the tackles for loss and the sacks and things of that nature. Trey Carter and Eli Riggs both with double-digit tackle for loss. Trey with 11 of them coming in, and we're going to see him right here beating that guy to the outside, able to bring him down. Penn Picton with the help.
So it's going to set up a 2nd and 12 now. Ball at about the just shy of the 30, around the 29-yard line for the Alder Knights.
Eli Riggs this year, 15.5 tackles for loss.
Showing blitz, coming after him. And there is a nice catch made by, I believe that was #3. That would be Jimmy Nagel.
Great timing here, quick release, and nice job to evade Eli Riggs. We mentioned him.
Yeah, we were talking about how they're spreading stuff around here. Nagel came in, he only had 5 catches for the season.
Yeah.
And used him on that play, got about 10 yards on it. They're going to be 3rd and short.
Alter really in a unique position here in the city of Dayton. You know, the Catholic schools down in Cincinnati, you got 2 different tiers of them, where you've got the Big Four, Moeller, St. X, LaSalle, and Elder.
There's a pitch, and taken down in the backfield, and we're talking about Moeller here. We have Moeller on our mind here. The Indian Hill defense, well, I'm sure Coach Rodenberg wouldn't mind us talking about Moeller, but anyway, the Indian Hill defense did their job right now.
Bill, that was huge. Getting off the field, giving them a chance. They get a score here, they're back in the game. But we talk about, here in the city of Dayton, really all the Catholic schools are those mid-sized schools. And the big schools are the public schools.
Right.
And for Alter to be able to consolidate this type of talent.
Well, on that play, what happened is Wiener had a soccer or a rugby-style kick that was rolling, and it was touched by a player. And it became a live ball right there, but fortunately Indian Hill fell on it.
I think if we take a look at that, the guy that touched it and ran past it is also the guy that got back on it, which was Devlin Daniel. And you talk about athleticism. This isn't the kind you want to necessarily show, but boy, it shows you just what kind of player he is.
He got right back on it.
Yeah. Got a little help, actually, from the Alter Knights knocking him backwards into that ball, but quite an athlete. Better baseball player, as I understand it, than even football, Bill.
Indian Hill going to work now. Trips. Pottergill. Pottergill, he's got a man open. That looks like Alex Grace, and it is. Alex Grace picks up about 20 yards, 25 yards on that play.
One of the things about John Pottergill, if he is rolling to his right, he is really good at throwing the ball on the run. You see it right there. A lot of touch on that ball. And another big target, we talked about Alex Grace. Easy to see out there, Bill.
Ball at the 47-yard line. 4 receivers. Basically an empty backfield. You got a man in the slot right now, man in motion. Pottergill over the middle. Oh, dangerous pass here to O'Brien.
Yeah, Connor Watkins with his hands on the football, and had he made that catch, it could have been 7 the other way.
Watkins is the one that intercepted him on the first play of the game. First throw of the game for Pottergill, but I don't know, we have a little discussion going on down here. Didn't see what was going on. Officials, we've had I don't want to jinx it right now, but we've had a relatively penalty-free game. They're over there now talking to the Alder coaches. We don't know what our situation is right now.
Looks like maybe a clock issue. They want to put some time back on it.
Put 7 more seconds back on the clock.
Of course, they go over to Alter with the lead. You got to go over and explain it to the leading team. You're going to put 9 or 7 seconds more on them.
All right. 2nd and 10. Now for the Braves. Joe's got trips to his left. Give is to Daniel. Daniel's got a bit of a hole. Closed up fairly quickly, but he's into Alder territory down to the 49-yard line.
Nice tackle there by the Alter Knights, but he earned the tackle. We talked about earlier, Devlin Daniel, although he's a freshman, physical end to this run, really finishes this one well. But Watkins, more than up to the task. Good job getting him on the ground.
Got a big offensive line up there, and I don't know if it is Gabe Oakes back in the ball game, and see if he gets back in or not.
He is, over left guard.
All right. Pottergill getting rushed. He's pulled out, he's rushed out of the pocket, and is intercepted and dropped. Big break. Michael Russ had it in his hands and dropped it. And I tell you what, if he had caught that, Brian, he'd been off to the races.
Well, here we go with John Pottergill. Yeah, he's rolling to his right, but he's coming back across the middle late in the play, and that's always a tough thing. You got to have a guy wide open to make that throw.
4th down now.
Alter Knights, you know, the one thing I'm impressed by, Bill, is they're just always straight up. Everybody not overdoing it, everybody in a gap, everybody where they're supposed to be. Really spreading out the field, making Indian Hill make good plays.
There's Grace with a pass, and it is complete.
Charlie Rogers.
Charlie Rogers with the reception. You know, Grace, the first time he punted, looked like he was going to run for the play. This time, though, he passes and moves the sticks.
Bill, that was a dart. He threw an
that
absolute
was
seed on that one. I don't think that ball got more than 6 feet off the ground. He just threw a laser out there. Great grab by Charlie Rogers. Had to go to the ground to get that one. Last year, due to the injury to Pottergill, he didn't ask for the job, but Alex Grace was the Braves quarterback. He can throw the ball.
New set of downs now, and we were just saying we were penalty free, but we have a procedure on Indian Hill.
Bill, do you really think they were going to let you get out of this game without having to call penalties?
No, they got
a quota to fill, you know. I mean, they got work to do. They're going to have to catch up here in the second half.
I can't be real bad on my officials since I am an official here. So as my fellow brothers out there. So,
yes, yes.
Anyway,
well, they do a great job, and
right,
they do it because they want to give kids an opportunity.
Well, the officials on this level, too, are chosen to be on this level, too. So Pottigill airs it out, and I'm looking down here to see if there's a penalty. The pass was for Noah Frazier. I don't know if he was. Let's look at this again. Let's see if we can see the receiver. I think it was. I guess
two
it was
guys
clean.
just jockeying for
All
position. Right. And, you know, that's one, as he threw it up, I thought, boy, you throw it up. He's got one receiver that is more of a slot-type guy. And you throw that ball up for Alex Grace or Dan O'Brien, might be a different story. Noah Frazier, a terrific slot receiver, good basketball player.
Empty backfield. Now he passes, and he's got Grace. And that is a touchdown.
Eli Riggs from that tight end position. Eli Riggs able to make the play. And we talk about the year that he's had, Bill. I mean, he's been tremendous on the defensive end. But Eli Riggs, a guy that's just now coming into his own. A guy that, you know, I don't think he understands just how good he is athletically. We saw it there, good hands and able to beat the defender into the end zone.
Indian Hill scores. Well, we call Grace, but now we're going to call his name because he's going to try to put on the extra point.
And, Bill, a guy that a good student, you know, a lot of schools that might be hard to get into, Eli Riggs is your guy.
And that is no good. I don't know if it was blocked or not. We're going to try to see this again because it was very low and on to the left, like it was blocked.
Great job by Pottigill just to pick that ball up off the ground and putting it out there for Riggs. Hands away from his body, good hands. Able to beat the DB into the end zone. Big guy that can run. 6'3", over 200, well over 200 pounds, and here's the extra point. Just kind of got over the top of it. Looks like Alex is on top of the ball tonight.
So PAT is no good. So with 7:49 to go here in the third quarter, Indian Hill now is on the board. Well, so far, most things are working for Coach Runenberg right now as far as they held Alder and then they scored on their first possession here. So
Eli with his second touchdown on the season. The first one was just a week ago with an interception return for a touchdown. Ran about 40 yards, and I think he was down for about 5 or 10 seconds trying to get his breath.
According to my stats here, he went for 61 maybe?
Maybe it was a little further than I thought. Well, that explains it. Great kid and a really good football player.
Picked up at the 1 yard line and finally thrown out of bounds. That's number 15, Colin Wiener.
See how Alter responds. Indian Hill with an opportunity to make this a game. And Alter now starting from their own 20.
17-6 is your score.
Mentioned these other games in Division 4. Interesting game, Battle of Cincinnati, number 3 Taft and number 6 Wyoming, and then of course up north, Shawnee and Urbana. Shawnee, great high school program.
And there is Owens. He's still on his feet.
And Bill, look who ran him down from the opposite side of the field. Eli Riggs. We're going to watch him go from right all the way over to the left and track down the running back.
Riggs did a great job of tracking him down. He hesitated for a second there about 10 yards before that, but ball out to the 50-yard line, a 30-yard run.
How about Rod Owens? Owens having a great game. Rocket Rod.
This time it's Owens again, inside the 40 down to about the 33-yard line. It's going to be another first down, another 17 yards.
And Bill, let's see if they stay with Owens or if they start running guys back and forth. Looks like Owens is going back to the huddle. So Owens becoming the workhorse here in the second half and having his way against this Braves defense.
Well, they put an extra wide receiver in there. They took the tight end Dorley out. Let's see what they do on this play.
Start committing to the run, cheat those backers up, and present opportunity on the back end.
1st and 10 from the 33. He gives it to Owens again. Owens got another first down inside the 20, down to about the 18-yard line. Another 13, 14 yards. It's been all Owens on this drive.
Bill, love the way that Owens runs. You know, coaches always talk about hit the hole quick. Well, once you hit the hole, you're surveying the field. Almost looks like the back that from Michigan State that the Pittsburgh Steelers had a few years ago, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Very patient, seeing what's available. Once he gets through that line, he's taking a look, very shifty back, able to get a lot of yards.
Owens, a 6 foot, 179-pound sophomore. In the red zone now. This time Connor's going to keep it himself, coming around the right side, 10, 5, pushed out of bounds at about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Bill, how about the decision by Connor after Owens has had such a good run? Trey Carter sucked up into that gap, and Connor keeping the ball and getting to the right side, almost to the pylon.
That's pretty good when your quarterback can be a good rusher too. He showed it right there.
He sure did.
Ball down to the 3 yard line. It's 1st and goal now for the Alder Knights.
And Bill, you see the hands on the hips of these Braves defenders. This is a tough series here for the defense.
This time he gives it to Jones, and Jones is in the end zone. Noah Jones gets his 16th touchdown of the year, 15 on the ground. 3 yard run, so the Alder Knights answer the Indian Hill Braves. And they only took about 90 seconds off the clock.
A lot of things to account for here and a lot of blocking out in front. And Alter able to punch it in. They've been very efficient down there.
PAT is good. 24-6.
And Bill, they're really executing at a high level. You're not seeing any, not seeing penalties. You're not seeing negative plays. You're not seeing blown coverages. You're not seeing missed extra points. I mean, Alter really doing a great job here. And we're going to see this last run for the touchdown. Or I'm sorry, the one that set it up from the quarterback.
Right. Well, Noah Jones got the score on that play, but give a lot of credit to Owens.
I just have to laugh seeing Eli Riggs in on the end of that play. If Eli Riggs, if this is going to be the last high school football game he plays, he's going to leave it all out there on the field. Many guys here, 13 members of this senior class for Indian Hill, and the anxiety and the sense of urgency, Bill, really starting to build for these guys.
It has to be right now. Short kick. Daniel picks it up about the 18-yard line, trying to go upfield a little bit, but he makes it back to about the 20. They have a rugby scrum going right now. All right, so the answer to that question is, what school holds the most wins in playoffs? And last week, they got their 97th win.
Now, I've already taken about 5 guesses, and I've come up short. I'm going to say my next one would be St. Ed's up in Cleveland.
No, but St. Ed's is a good guess. Maria Stein Marion Local.
Yes.
Just up the road here.
Yes.
Division 7.
I apologize to the good people up there because, and you know what? I love that it's a small town.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like Versailles and Galleon and Steubenville and some
Minster,
of the great
all those places are great.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it, and good for them. I mean, that's a great program.
I could tell stories from a track and field standpoint about those schools over and over again. But yeah, they've 97 wins.
97.
And they are playing tonight, going for 98.
Wow. You know, if you don't get a handful of them as a high school kid, they start saying, well, what were you doing when you were there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There's a that's Did Grace catch it? Unbelievable catch by Alex Grace, and we have a player down on the field.
Yeah. looks like he's going to be okay getting up. I think he's
Alex
fine.
Grace, my gosh.
Bill, John Pottigill right now realizing he's just going to have to make some plays, take some risk to get some reward. Puts that out there, and again, a big receiver going out there and making a play in traffic.
He definitely did.
I wish we had that Amazon. You know, you see that on NFL games, the probability of success on that. That one had to be about 2 or 3%. Braves able to come up with it.
Ball to 40. Daniel finds a hole and up to the 48-yard line, about an 8-yard run. And that's really, that might be one of his farthest runs tonight.
Well, going north and south and able to find some room. And, Bill, how big was that last drive by Alter? Because, you know, if it's a 17-6 game and the Braves are driving, making a couple plays offensively, you get the sense the Braves are going to be able to move the football and maybe put points on the board.
Right.
But, boy, you got to be able to stop them, too.
Play action. This one is.
He's gone.
Oh, 20.
What a great play. Number 5, Michael Russ, able to get, I don't know what he got, maybe a cleat, one of the little cleats on the bottom of the shoe. Unbelievable.
Was that Jason Fry, though? That was Jason Fry with the catch. Beautiful catch on a play action out of the backfield. And
yeah, I really feel like Fry was going to beat those guys to the corner had he gotten away. But, boy, give credit to Michael Russ. Going to make this Braves offense earn it from here.
Couple of big plays here for the Braves now. Puts the ball at the 32-yard line. 4:28 to go here in the third quarter. Trying to answer the Knights' touchdown. Play action again. Over the middle. And is a catch made? No.
Yeah, Alter Knights looking for a little extracurricular.
Yeah, they're thinking
foul.
Everything was a personal foul down there. The play was to Alex Grace. He had a couple of Knights with him down there.
Yep.
Oh, he did kind of throw him down, but yeah.
Good defense there by the Knights. 2 guys over there. And
Wiener trying to plead his case, but didn't work out. But it's just 2nd and 10. Daniel. Now he's got another room over the left side down to about the 21-yard line. He's looking like he's got a little bit of a second win here this second half.
And, Bill, he really finishes runs. I mean, he's a guy that you're going to earn it every time you put him on the ground.
And keep in mind, only a freshman. We're going to be talking about him for the next few years.
Yeah, and his buddy Ethan Cole, we're going to see a lot from him as well.
Pottigill looking left, and Daniel had the ball in his hands and dropped it.
Bill, I think, you know, one of those things that you're trying to create space out there and you're trying to get your linemen engaged. If you'll see at the end of this play, the yellow helmets getting out in that area, making it a little difficult. You don't have time to catch the ball, set up, turn your body, and then run. You're trying to do it all at once because you didn't get that separation.
They need a touchdown more than they need a field goal, so it's 4th and about 4. They're going for it. Pottigill. Pass made and caught by Grace again. I mean, he's got a highlight tape tonight, Brian.
Yeah, Alex Grace having a heck of a game. Another senior that if he is to go out, he's going to go out with a bang. 17 receptions on the year coming into this one, and he's got to have more than a handful of them tonight, and most of them contested in traffic. Very impressive.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Getting those hands away from his body and making a play. Strong hands.
See you.
Now trips over on that right side. See if they run some misdirection.
Pottigill will go for the end zone now. No, he's going to give it to Daniel. And Daniel is thrown back right now after about a 2-yard gain, maybe a yard gain. We'll see where they've spot the ball. Going to give him a yard on that. 2nd and goal. Ball at the 8-yard line. Clock is moving down to about 2:40 to go here in this third quarter.
Yeah, still almost 15 minutes left in this ball game. Braves get it in here. It just becomes a matter, can they get a stop?
Pottegill looking for the end zone. And
Bill, these drops are interesting. Everything to the right, kind of backing up, throwing off that back foot, coming back to the left. Interesting. Long throws and throws with a guy kind of throwing away from his body, the way that he's moving. Interesting. And these are by design. There you see Ty Thornton, one of the former Braves on this staff, along with Dorian Magruder. Dorian's last game was on this field against the Alter Knights. And Thornton, of course, the son of John Thornton and the brother of Jalen.
There's Grace, and it is picked off in the end zone. And that is Weiner again.
Yeah, well, he'd been mixed up with Alex Grace earlier and able to go up and make a play, and that one hurts for Indian Hill. And Weiner, as you see him get up, there's been a little back and forth between those two, and Weiner almost drawing the personal foul as well, but I think good officiating on both sides on each of those plays to kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Both guys getting in and getting out of that contact, not a big deal.
Colin Weiner with the pick.
Yeah, that one felt sweet for the Knights, and Colin Weiner in particular. He had a battle there with Alex Grace tonight.
That's his fourth of the season, and it stops the Braves' drive. Noah Jones and play is stopped. We have a procedure now on the Knights.
Well, you know, Bill, if they hadn't called that, you get to the end of the game, you don't have any penalties. People say, well, what were you doing all night when you weren't calling anything? Were you watching the game?
It's still we've had very few.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, good football. This time of year, you're dealing with two good teams, two great coaching staffs.
You don't have a whole lot of penalties that drive coaches crazy and gives them gray hair. The give is to Jones. And Jones finds a big hole over the left side, moves it out to about the 33-yard line. I'm looking down here at this Alter offensive line.
Yeah.
I tell you, Brian, it's pretty impressive. Epps is 327, right is 298, center Nogel is 281, Marquez 262, and Fussnecker, he's the little guy, 214.
Yeah, and Wright and Noga been doing it for a long time. Both got all-league accolades last year. These are guys that have really made the difference tonight.
Jones needed to get out to the 30-yard line. He might be just a shy bit short. He is a little bit short, about a half yard short. So it's going to set up a third and a very short.
Bill, Braves continuing to fight. I'm going to need some help, though.
Yeah,
probably going to need to get a turnover, or something's going to happen here in the last 13 minutes for them to get back in this ball game.
Well, they're going to need to stop right now. Connor's still in a shotgun, though. And it looks like it was the Jones, and he's got enough for the first down. He got over to the 30. We're going to move the sticks here.
We haven't called the number, but it doesn't mean he hadn't made plays. Drew Rader tonight, again, this sophomore for Indian Hill, and, of course, Eli Riggs in there. Good to see Gabe Oakes out there both ways. Must be feeling better.
We're going to go over our crew here at the end of this quarter, so stay tuned for that.
Well, after we got Marion Local Stein, I don't know.
I know.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
We're going to see how they're doing tonight. So Jones, big hole, still on his feet inside the Braves territory down to about the 38-yard line, and another about 30-yard run.
Bill, you're starting to see the tackling fade a little bit for the Braves. You get to that fatigue part. You've been punched in the mouth, downhill running all night, and at some point, you know, it's tough.
Knee on the ground around the 40. And the clock is going to run out at the end of the third quarter. 24-6 in favor of the Alder Knights. Let's talk about our crew right now. First of all, we start with the main guys out there. Dean Lowry, Will Matthews, you guys are awesome coming out here. I know Dean says he really likes this place. This is the first time we've been here. But anyway, thanks to those guys coming out here. Dean is the director tonight. Technical director is Katie McDonough. Oh, we got a cameraman waving to us right now. Isaac Atchison is on replay. Graphics is Will Matthews. Camera, Adam Simpson, George Zazari, Cameron Ruiz, and our main man, Eric Johan. George and Isaac are Indian Hill students, so thank you guys for coming out here. And I know Denny does a good job of getting those people together there, and Denny's had some health issues. We wish him the best, but does a good job of with the Indian Hill crew and covering many of their games over the season with ICRC TV. I think that's Eric down there right now. I see his back down there, but Eric Johan. Eric and I have combined have 250 years experience here with ICRC.
That's quite a bit.
Eric's about 150, I'm 100, so blitz right now by the Braves, and it works.
Yeah, good job to get back to the line of scrimmage, or just about, a little bit short. You mentioned Denny Dupps. Boy, I tell you what, we talk about, you know, Joe Petroselli in 50 years, and then Coach Domitson, you know, 50 years almost. He's closing in on it. Denny Dupps has been at Indian Hill High School since 1969. So that puts him at 54 years at Indian Hill High School. So
I was a freshman in college.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was right out of college, Ohio University, and it's interesting. Denny has gone from being the shop teacher to doing different things, and now he's the technology guy, the oldest guy in the building that knows the most about technology. You got to love it. Denny Dupps, you're the man.
Pass was to Carter Sheets. He is brought down on the play by Dylan Hartman. But it's good enough for a first down at the 33-yard line here. We're in the fourth quarter here.
And, Bill, you know, this game not over by any stretch, but as you're looking at this Alter offense, so much next week for Clinton Massey or whoever it might be to look at. And they're going to continue to give them things to see on tape. They're not going to show it all. They're not going to, but they're going to have to account for a lot. Alter, very dynamic, diversified offense.
Connor. Screen pass to Jones inside the 30. Nice job by Kotfer to trip him up. Enough to move the sticks. And right now, this Alter offense is pretty much content to take as much as they can. We do have play clocks here that they can see. We did the Chaminade Julian Mount Healthy game last week, and Chaminade in the fourth quarter did an excellent job of clock management and ended up winning that game. Changing the play. Indian Hill's still showing blitz, so pitches to Jones, and they bring him down, and the ball is out. Jones, though, recovers.
Good play by Jones. I think he might have been down initially,
I think,
but
yeah.
But, you know, hey, don't let the officials make a decision. Get on the football. The biggest thing that can hurt you at this point in the game is a turnover, and he takes that possibility away. They'll get to yards. Got to have the football.
He loses some on that play, so it's going to set up a 2nd and long now for the Alder Knights. They have to get down to about the 19-yard line. Right now, they're sitting at the 33.
Well, I tell you, this is about the time of night, Bill, that we start thinking about a Casano's Pizza up here in Dayton. I tell you what, that might be something on the ride home down 75.
You're making me hungry right now. So, that pass is good to Jones out of the backfield, but it's not enough. gets them back close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a little bit beyond. They're going to say 3rd and 9.
And, you know, it's really tough. I mean, it's tough enough at this part of the game. 8.5 minutes left. You're down by, 18 points. I guess that's 3 scores. It's tough enough if they pound the rock at you. But, boy, they're pounding the rock, and they're showing you so many different things. The screen passes, the pitch, the option. Just a lot to account for, mentally as much as physically.
Connor back to pass. Looking,
now
plenty of protection.
Oh,
and he's got a man open down about the 12-yard line. And did he get the pass?
I think he got it, yeah. Jonathan Kopfer over on that side of the field closing in almost with a pick opportunity. I'm sorry, Charlie Rogers. But able to get the completion the alternates do.
That's Joe Dorley, the tight end. Haven't called his name very much tonight, but
interesting. Charlie Rogers actually getting his hands on that football, just not able to.
Dorley only had a couple of catches this year. I think in their offensive scheme right now, he is mostly used for blocking.
Yep.
Catches a big pass there to move the sticks in the red zone now again is Alder. He pitches to Jones. Jones breaks one tackle down to about the 10-yard line. I'm sorry, that's Owens again. Rod Owens. Boy, if you're scouting this game and Alder wins this game, man, who are you going to key on next week?
You really do. I mean, it's going to be an interesting one. If it is Alter and Clinton Massey, Clinton Massey, a lot of people think of them as just a big, group of country boys going to go out and just punch the football, punch you in the mouth for. They're also a very dynamic offense. You look at their scores, this is a team that will put 50, 60 points on the board. They run the ball a lot, but they do a lot of different things. That will be a classic matchup if it happens.
They put 50 on the board last week in their first round game. High snap. Owens inside the 10 down to about the 8. Set up a 3rd down and 3. They can get down to about the 3-yard line and get a new set of downs. Clock is ticking away now. Approaching 6 minutes now to go in this game.
And you got to be impressed with these Braves, John Rodenberg's kids. His team fighting all the way to the end. We talk about all that Alter's throwing at him. These guys keep lining up and keep going 100%.
Indian Hill showing blitz. They picked up the blitz very well on that one. They had a blitzer coming in from linebacker position, and he was just creamed at the line of scrimmage. And going the other direction is Jones down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you what, really impressed with Gabe Oakes. We saw him down on the field at the end of the first half and playing almost every snap, Bill, offense and defense.
That's enough for a first down, so it's 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Indian Hill league champions 10 times in the CHL, including this year. Their first league championship. Well, they actually had league championship in 2020. That was a COVID year. Yeah. And they did not play. Wyoming and Indian Hill didn't play that year, so they both ended up undefeated.
Bill, it's the first game that has to be scheduled in that league. I mean, both of them had decided advantage on everybody else. And it looks like he ran into his offensive line.
I think he did. That's Jones down to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Jake Noga. Jake Noga load. And you run into Jake Noga, you're not going anywhere. Indian Hill catching a break on that one, at least temporarily. 5 minutes left in this one.
Indian Hill making their 16th appearance in the appearance in the playoffs, and here we have a score.
Ooh, how about that? Big night for the GCL co-ed. McNick up on Clinton Massey, 17-14 in the end of the 3rd quarter. And do we have a touchdown? I think we do.
And I think the touchdown was by the quarterback, Connor.
Actually, I think Mike Rose with his second touchdown of the night for Rose. And
Rose, I'm sorry. Yep, number 12 is Rose, Mikey Rose.
Bill, just so much to account for. That right there, you know what? I mentioned that Casano's Pizza. I'm also going to swing by Dorothy Lane Market and get one of those Grandma Tobias pies. Tell you what, I'm going to weigh 300 pounds by the time
you leave Dayton
back
tonight.
in Cincinnati, and I might be back up here trying to get an opportunity to play for the Knights Dom site.
Carver's PAT is good. Rose with his second touchdown of the game, his 8th of the season.
Brown and gold. Bill, it is an absolute great tradition here. I mean, what a wonderful program, wonderful school. We mentioned it. You know, in Cincinnati, you got different tiers of Catholic schools, big schools, small schools. Then you got some niche schools like Summit Country Day. Here in Dayton, I mean, they're all about the same size, whether it's Carroll or CJ,
right.
or, you know, but these guys, and they go on the road too, you know. They got to go down to McNick. They got to go down to Fenwick and Baden. And
Purcell Marion in the past.
Purcell, that's right. It used to be Roger Bacon had to go down there. Speaking of going down there, did you see Lima Senior playing tonight? Those that don't know, Lima Senior used to make a 2.5-hour trip in their league playing the GMC.
Right.
So those guys are playing tonight. But, no, I mean, it's just tremendous. And for them to be able to get all the talent and all the kids, I mean, it's just a great school, great environment. Everybody wants to be a part of the Altar Knights and the Brown and Gold.
Ooh, wow, I tell you, if that stays together here, you're going to have a GCL co-ed semifinal next week.
How about that?
That'll be very interesting. And you know, McNicholas 3-2 in the league, 6-5 overall. Yeah. They were 9th seed. They last week they played Eaton, the 8th seed. They won that game on the road.
Yeah.
Maybe going to win 2 on the road. Potagel broken up down there. Nice job by Alder breaking that up.
You know, Bill, it just goes back to the schedule that they play, the meat grinder they go through. I mean, if you can come out of it healthy, and that's really the big key, you know, in the game of football. If you can come out of it healthy, as we see Potagel take a shot down the field, Dan O'Brien, he's got double coverage there and a third in the area.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that right there, but O'Brien was down, slow getting up, but Russ, who defended on play, helped him up.
Yeah.
Nice job, Michael Russ. Grace in motion. Potagel, whoa. I think we're going to have a procedure on Indian Hill.
I tell you what, how about that short hop? I mean, John Potagel getting down there and fielding that like a little shortstop there.
Well, he's probably lucky that this was was a penalty, because that might have been disastrous.
A lot of gold jerseys in the area when he picked that one up and turned around.
Procedure on Indian Hill, takes the ball back to the 22-yard line, makes it a 2nd and 15.
Yeah, going to have to win 16 games this year to be a state champion, or play 16 games to be a state champion. Going to have to win 6.
Well, we're going to see if Maria Stein gets that 100th win this year.
Yeah.
Pass is good.
Now to Dan O'Brien.
O'Brien with the catch. So they get some of that yardage back. They get about 10 yards back.
Dan O'Brien, good football player. He's really worked hard at the game. Was a good basketball player, too, and really kind of focused on football, and it's paid off. He's been terrific for this team all year.
Potagel, low snap. And that is broken up down there, and we have one Brave player down on the sideline.
I think he's okay. I
don't know if that was a mix-up play or what, because you had 2 Braves in the same area.
Yeah, Chase Lanham out there trying to get some block. I mean, he's out there to try to block somebody, and a little collision with Dan O'Brien out there. This was shades of Jack Squirick against Joe Theismann in the Super Bowl. I tell you what, that looked like that could have gone back the other way. Braves fortunate.
Well, Grace is back to punt 2 times tonight. He faked the punt. One time he actually did kick it. The second time he threw a pass. Let's see what he does. This time he's going to do a rugby-style kick. Fair catch is called.
A lot of elevation there.
At the 30-yard line.
And who's he kick it to? His buddy, Colin Wayner. And Wayner doing a nice job. That ball hung up. And you're looking up in the lights, and you got a ball that high in the air. You don't get that all the time in a high school game. Nice job there in a crowd.
43-yard punt for Grace. Maybe his last one. We'll see.
Yeah, I really believe, Bill, that Alex Grace could help a lot of college football teams punting the football. I look at him more as a punter. I just look at the way the ball comes off his foot and as athletic as he is. Just looks like a punter. Looks like Tom Tupa out there.
And that's let's see. He broke a tackle and got another 3 or 4 yards.
Strong hands by Eli Riggs to hold him up and wait for Jackson Fry to help out. Looks like we got another score. Mason up on Milford. Milford.
Whoa.
And we're getting word that Mason got the touchdown on a block punt. Milford this year, Bill, in that ECC, I think a lot better than anybody thought it would be.
Right.
Winton Woods, Anderson, Kings, Milford. I mean, you're really running the gauntlet. I got a buddy that got the job at Turpin. He's like, what the heck? I mean, just got so many good teams in that league.
Well, you also have another legendary coach over there in Tom Crippa.
Yes, sir.
He's done a great job at Milford since he's been there. And there is Owens, or nope, this one was Mikey Rose, the fullback. Mikey gets a first down.
We're going to see if that – I was kind of surprised at that #1 seed. Now, they haven't been beaten, and a lot of other teams have beaten each other up. But, boy, I'll be interested to see if they can run the gauntlet down there in Region 4.
Well, right now, they got to get past tonight.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, you know, that's a team that you're a Division I team playing in a predominantly Division II league. But, boy, you got some great Division II. Anderson, Kings, Winton Woods. You got some great Division II teams in that league.
And the give is to the second back through. You also have Princeton playing tonight, the #2 seed Princeton. They're playing #7 Hamilton. How about Hamilton? Last week won their first ever playoff game. You talked about Maria Stein, Marion Local winning 97.
Yeah.
Hamilton has now won 1.
In the next 100 years, maybe they'll catch them, Bill.
I know, really. So,
looks like we're going to have another score, speaking of Hamilton.
And Princeton is up. Well, Hamilton got the 1 win in, but it looks like that is going to be 1 and gone. But
Princeton Vikings, awfully tough. Awfully tough. That's going to be interesting. Princeton, Lakota West, St. X, Moeller, Elder. I mean, there's just so much going on there. Again, we'll see if Milford can stand up to all that. If I was a betting man, I think that GMC GCL matchup's going to be pretty big.
Yep.
And once again, we're seeing, you know, just so much to account for. A great job there.
Purcell, you know, another one of the running backs here. Vinny Purcell, he's done a pretty good job here tonight too. Purcell came in with 121 yards rushing, but now he's got the full house backfield. And doing the option this time. This time he keeps it. And it'll be 4th down.
Trey Carter doing a great job. And Northmont up by 3 against Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison playing good tonight.
Harrison, good football team. Braves had them in, I think it was week 2.
Yeah.
And
well, we covered them about week 5 or 6, so he played Mount Healthy, and they just demolished Mount Healthy that night.
Yeah, difficult thing about that league, they've only got, you know, just a handful of
4 teams left.
So they, you know, they end up playing a lot of out of league games, but
yeah, it's been tough on the ADs in those leagues. Yeah, but 2 of them, Ross and Edgewood, left the league. But 17 seconds go in this game. Alder is going to move on with a 9-3 record. Now the clock has stopped. Alder called a timeout.
Bill, it's been a pleasure being with you.
Yes, Brian, it's nice being with you. Well, we'll see at this Braves team next year. We'll have some interesting people coming back here, including Mr. Daniel.
Hats off to these seniors and the coaching staff at
Yes.
Indian Hill. Great year, a lot to be proud of and a lot to be happy about looking forward.
Rugby style kick, ball stays in bounds as the clock runs down, and your final is 31-6. The Alder Knights will move on to play the winner of Clinton Massey McNicholas, which right now it could be a GCL co-ed matchup next week. We'll have to see how that goes. But Indian Hill closes out their season 9-3 on the season. A great season, a real comeback season from last year. And final thoughts, Brian?
Well, you know, Braves, I like what you said about a comeback. First losing season in 10 years last year. This is a team that came back, put in the effort, believed in their coaching staff, got rewarded with a great season, especially for these 13 seniors. Alder Knights, very impressive. I think they're going to be a tough out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the Final Four for Division IV.
We'll find out if that happens here in the next few weeks. ICRC, we're going to be off from football next week because the ICRC crew, they're going to be covering the state volleyball championships. And I believe, is that, I believe, Dean Nutter Center, I think, again, or is it, okay, that's a Nutter Center. That's where our ICRC people will be up there. We provide the technical support for their, for the state championship volleyball. So I don't know if we'll be back in 2 weeks with football, but if not, we'll be seeing you during the basketball season. So for Brian Shaw and the entire ICRC crew, this is Bill Brett saying goodbye from Fairmount High School, Alder 31, Indian Hill 6.